when the mind takes or hijacks non-dual concepts and then uses them as a justification for being unconscious, this is non-dual prison. But it's a funny kind of prison because you don't know you're in prison. You see, that's the thing. I'm sure we've seen people like that, and people that make videos, and people in spiritual circles, my previous self. It's like a necessary stage we got to go through. The consciousness wants to taste what it feels like to be a false spiritual person, so that then it can taste what it feels like to be a more authentic spiritual person. It's duality. You can't escape that. You don't hear some non-dual talk and think, "Ooh, I got it." You don't. It doesn't work. Now, some of us might have seen a guy that was making videos. See, when I first started this channel, I don't know how long now. It's been 7 or 8 months. When I start a channel, I pick 5, 6 other channels that are in my niche, and I kind of just keep an eye. I just see like, okay, what are they doing? You know, what's happening? So there was one guy in particular, and I noticed when I watched him the first time, I was like, he's imagining. I made a video about how the mind can imagine a spiritual awakening, and just excessively loud, loud, but it was a demonstration. It was like a theatrical presentation or something that the ego was trying to do. Because I know the difference, you can feel it vibrationally. But I said, okay, let's see what happens. It's like watching a show or something. Because I know something's going to happen at some point. And of course, it's like there's so many levels on this existence that you can have. People follow, there's followers for everybody. What's the serial killer's name? The old serial killer. He killed. They say he killed movie star Charles Manson. Man, he had a big following. So you got that following, and then you have Ramana Maharshi or Eckhart Tolle or Muji or Jesus or Buddha. You have their following. And then you got everything in between. But there's always somebody that's going to resonate because everyone, it's about vibration. Like there's so many different levels and frequencies that the consciousness can operate on. So there's what do they call it? There's a nut for every screw, or a screw for every nut. It's like that. So the guy had some people. That brings up another good point. You know how you know a good teacher? By their students, by their followers. If they're people that follow them have a high degree of consciousness, then the people that the one that they're following, he might be okay. But again, we have to read vibration. Otherwise, we can get dazzled by the words. That's the thing. People are so stuck on superficial level, they don't have any inner feeling beyond words. They can't sense the words that are being spoke, where's that coming from? A lot of people can, and you leave some good comments, and I appreciate that. When I receive them, I can tell. I like it. Thank you. A lot of people, though, they're so tuned on just the gross level word or action, and they say, "Oh, he must be good." Hitler was vegetarian, so was he good? So I was watching this guy, and I saw the spiraling down. You see, it started, and he started like smoking and just using a lot of profanity and just listening to things as he was making a video that just wasn't like, you just don't do that. Not because you're trying to be spiritual. No, it's just you don't do that. I don't know. See, there's a difference now. Now one could say Naza Sagata was smoking. It's different though. Again, back to vibration. If we can't read vibration, then we're going to miss stuff. Then the mind can argue anything. And you can't, if you see, a person who has a sense of vibration can't really have a conversation or constructive argument or debate with somebody who's only tuned on mental level. It's impossible. You got two different worlds trying to talk to each other. It used to drive me crazy growing up. And then I realized, I was like, whoa, like, It's impossible to talk to them. Like you can't talk to them. You're pointing at to some subtlety that's true, but unless the other person has that that level of consciousness where they know what you're pointing to, which is seemingly intangible, but it's not. But on gross level, it's intangible. Then they're not going to understand you. You know. So there can be people that smoke or not smoke, but when this person was doing it, it just didn't look right. It didn't feel right, and I started feeling like a little like I had compassion for him. I was like, damn, that's too bad. Because I know what it is. Because I used to be like that when I taught yoga in Bali 12 years ago, 13 years ago. I don't remember. Yeah. It's funny. You get, like when we're 15 years old, we like remember every year, you know? But then you start to get in your 40s or especially 50s, 60s. It's kind of like, I don't know, did this happen 2 years ago or 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago? Like, you don't know, you know? So I saw the spiraling down and I'm like, I'm not like wishing like, yeah, let's watch him crash. No. Yeah, how? Because I'm inside him also somehow. And consciousness, you know, when you recognize the consciousness that's free of form, then you can see it's that same consciousness that has stepped down itself in all these other forms. You can relate. I remember that movie Powder. He was trying to tell the girl, it's always a girl in the Hollywood movies, or always a guy and a girl. He was telling her, they were having a conversation about, like, she was asking about the murderers or the guy in the electric chair, and Powder's like, but we're inside him also, you know. He had unity consciousness. That's why I liked that movie. It was really good. And at the end, he's like, I'm done. Just got absorbed back into the dematerialized through the lightning. That was interesting. I didn't think about it like this. The whole lightning aspect was because when he was a baby, his mom got struck by lightning, and that's why he didn't have any hair on his body. And then when he went out at the end, it was also lightning. Huh. So, the end of the story though is the guy. He's finished now. Like I don't see him. I was like, where is he? Because he changed his name, but then I couldn't find him. So I'm like, I guess he's done now. Because he was in non-dual prison and didn't know it. Didn't know it. His mind took all these non-dual concepts that you can hear anywhere and used it to fortify the ego. I worked with the guy before for some years, and he came into a big shift and experience. And I would say for about 24 hours or so, it was authentic. But then the ego, it came in and it took it. It's like took it hostage. And then you could tell. What's it called? Like this Messiah complex. You got to save the world, and you know you're the all knower, and it's like you got to disseminate this information to help the world and the people, and you got to save them because you think you know what's going to happen and all this stuff. That's what happened. And you can't talk to those people. Like you can't talk to them. It's impossible. Life will take care of it though. It'll hit some bottom, and then go through some depression or something, and then a deeper spirituality will be born. See, those experiences that these people have, they're good. It's good. Even though it lands them into non-dual prison, it's a good experience. Like it has to happen like that a lot of times. And then the refinement process comes in. Then you start to catch the ego in its subtlest way, like the spiritual ego. You start to see how it can hijack these spiritual principles. So do you see how it's necessary to go through that? You can't get mad at somebody because they're doing that. I mean, you may not want to hang around them because why? But when you go through that, when you go through those stages, you somehow understand that, And this is life, though. This is evolution. That's why there's no way to skip this evolutionary process. I'm gonna make a video on that next. That deserves its own video. All right. Don't go to non-dual prison. But I know you can't help it. But hopefully the sentence won't be too long. That's what I'm trying to say. All right.